Item SCP-004 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures When handling items SCP-0042 through SCP-00413, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by two Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-004-1. The effects of doing so are yet to unknown, and the current cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any object contained within SCP-41 breach containment or the facility be breached, the keys must be bought inside the door and closed prior to activation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from testing is grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-41. Level 4 clearance is required to use of SCP-004-2 to 13. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, a set of 12 rusted steel keys, SCP-0042 through SCP-00413. The door itself is the entrance to an abandoned factory. Chronological history: 7/2/1994. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near unknown location find the door. According to their testimony, they found a set of rusted keys and an iron lockbox, and determined what the door the keys unlock. Juveniles are taken into custody after they contact the sheriff when one of their friends, SCP-004-CAS-01, goes missing. 7/3/1994. Local authorities find the severed right hand of SCP-004-CAS-01 8 kilometers from SCP-0041. Other parts of SCP-004-CAS-01's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell the authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004-CAS-01 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over this investigation. 7/4/1949. SCP Agent, name unclosed, obtains the key from the local authorities to begin testing. Tests show that SCP-0042 through SCP-00413 all fit into a single lock at the large barreled door. 12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects each trying a different key to enter the room, only 2 survive. Opening the door with any key except SCP-0047 or SCP-00412 caused the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At the time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject have been recovered, with exception of the subject SCP-004- whose pieces were scattered in close proximity. Others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having used SCP-0047, returned unharmed. The other came in near catatonic state, able to only remove himself from the room and then collapse on the floor, and had to be restrained to prevent him from gouging out of his eyes. Appendix A. Mental health effects of SCP-00412. All Class D personnel using SCP-00412 return in a catatonic state, unable to speak. Some may have enough energy left to try to claw out their eyes. Of the 16 subjects, only 4 have survived. Only one has regained speech following long-term psychotherapy. He was able to tell the psychiatrist that he saw a massive green creature so large that much of its body extended beyond his field of view. He reported immediate fear and sudden recognition, as if it was something buried deep in his primal fears, and forced implantation of incomprehensible memories. Subject displays acute interrogate and retrograde amnesia. The subject, using SCP-0047, said that he had entered a large room impossibly big for the size of the attached building. After his exit, SCP-0041 was propped open and an armed squad of Level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room was impossible to measure, and the doorframe and the individuals in the room are the only part of the room that can be felt or illuminated. 7/16/1949. The juvenile suspects and sheriff, name undisclosed, are terminated. Unknown area where the SCP was found is declared a hazardous area due to unexploded ordnance and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests to determine safety of exposure to environment behind SCP-0041 begin. 12/1/1950. Space-time anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. 7/4/1900s and some date undisclosed. The unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appears in similar manners to those of SCP-004-CAS-01. The remains have been designated SCP-004-CAS-02. Records suggest that both SCP-004-CAS-01 and CAS-02 used SCP-004-3/21/1999. With massive proliferation of nuclear weapons and World War III only years away, construction has begun on a site SCP-0041. The site is to stock supplies for person days. 04/21/1999. Has ordered the site inside SCP-004-1 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all mobile and SCP- specimens and a petabyte database for the storage of all SCP data. The facility is now referred as Site 62. 9/25/2000. Site 62 is operational. Labs and containment units are complete and can contain most dangerous specimens. Backup of the SCP database has begun. 1/25/2001. Due to time anomalies, see space anomalies below. Space-time anomalies. SCP-004 seems to propagate spatiotemporal anomalies. Personnel leaving the facility report losing time. Those who have been in site for weeks insist they had only been in the facility for several days, and records of work completed and supplies consumed support their claims. Other temporal anomalies involves SCP-002 SCP-004-2 through -13, especially the reappearance of SCP-004-CAS-01 and SCP-004-CAS-02. Exactly unknown years after using SCP-004, unknown has begun assigned to investigate all aspects of these tiny anomalies. Spatial anomalies include the impossible large dimension area opened by SCP-0047. Similarly, the 2003 blackout incident suggests that there exists an alternate plane of existence within the same space that Site-62 occupies. Due to time anomalies, all personnel working at Site-62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones perished in an industrial accident. Clone bodies have been prepared for the funeral. Massive power outage across northeast United States through Canada due to initial failure of multiple SCP generators. Site-62 was powered for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, those on site were completely without any source of light. They reported sensing creatures and people, although no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected facility personnel were allowed to read Appendix A and said the creatures sensed were humanoid size but otherwise similar to massive green creatures described. Additional notes. Testing on SCP-004 reveals that 10 of the keys open SCP-004-1 on a dimension where the laws of physics and topology are significantly different than others of those Homa dimensions. Test subjects meeting these hostile conditions are torn apart, their body parts disposed in various locations, only 3 of which have been verified to be on Earth. Material deposited at 2 of these points appears immediately. Material deposited at the third appears exactly -years into the future. The other 7 locations are currently unknown. Current testing focuses on 2 avenues of research. The first is finding ways to survive SCP-004's hostile topologies. Second, data explorers suggested SCP-004-2 through 13 may open doors other than SCP-004-1. Appendix B. Additional information. Item SCP-004-14. Date of discovery 9/2/1950. Origin of subject. Object was discovered elsewhere in factory area in the previously undiscovered manager's office. Description. Object appears as a large unvarnished wooden box. The box may be unlocked by the safe keys of SCP-004-7 as well as 5 of the unsafe keys. Upon unlocking SCP-004-14 with SCP-004-7, the box opens automatically on hinges. The volume of the space inside is precisely 5 times greater than the outside dimensions imply. Items placed within while the lid remains open do not affect the weight or any other properties of the box. When the lid is closed and locked, however, all items inside vanish irresistibly. Personnel locked inside the box are also irretrievable, although losing personnel in this fashion appears to affect significantly the dreams experienced by data explored.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications for further updates. We'll be posting a video every day. And also share the video with your friends and family.